Anyone on this journey unconsciously makes things right or wrong. This is why I don't use the word right or wrong, good or bad. I try not to as much as I can. I call it healthy and unhealthy and desirable and undesirable. So it's healthy to be a certain way. But even when I'm like, well, yeah, that's unhealthy, we still take that as wrong. And it's like, we just need that reminder. You just need to keep reminding yourself until you get to the stage of completely changing the meaning of unhealthy or undesirable to yourself. Anything that's wrong, we feel like we shouldn't be doing it. But I always reference it to physical wounds. We can see physical wounds and we understand it. If I fall out of a tree and break my legs, you wouldn't come up to me and go like, oh, it's wrong that you can't walk. You'd be like, oh, I understand why you can't walk and that's okay. And we say that to ourselves. Well, I understand that I can't walk because my legs are broken. I'm not suggesting that you are broken in any way emotionally or anything, but you get what I'm saying. And it's basically that, because that's when we start beating ourselves up. It's like, all right, I recognize that this is coming from this part of myself. That's awareness. It doesn't even mean that you have to do anything about it. What I mean by that is the reason you are discovering is for the purpose of understanding. That's it. And that's why when we get to these parts of ourselves, when we're integrating, when we're healing, as crazy as it sounds, we're not going there to heal any part of ourselves. We're not. Otherwise it won't work. We are going there to be with these parts of ourselves. That's it. It will not work if you go, and as crazy as that sounds, the only time that it does work when you're like, okay, I'm going to go and heal this part of myself. When you actually get there, you feel everything that this part feels. So that at that stage, you just want to be there for this part. You're not even trying to heal this part anymore. You're like, fuck, I had no idea. And it's the same thing. It's when I discover that this driving factor of what is coming from a low self-esteem, that's it. That's the end of the discovery. I understand that. Now I need to make other choices. A choice can be, I'm kinder to myself because of it. I can choose to be kinder to myself. I can choose to not beat myself up over and over again that I've recognized that I'm doing. Oh, I'm going to stop that behavior. But that requires me to understand the part of myself that's beating myself up as well. And honestly, every single thing in the world, in reality, for you individually, is the story that you tell yourself. I can guide you, other people that have the type of life that you want, have the success that you want, say things, and they're all just guidances. But it's like put one foot ahead of the other and then put another one left, right, and you're right and then left. But at the same time, you could still move forward. If you hop on your right, then hop on your left, then hop on your right. You can still move forward if you jump with both feet. So it's all guidance, but it's the stories we tell ourselves that kind of get us there, because we've come from this reality where all the stories we're telling ourselves are from trauma and this unhealthy way of just societal beliefs and behaviors, that we look at someone and go, I enjoy their stories better. That person tells a certain type of story that has got him to where he is, so I'm going to adopt those types of stories. But it's all stories we're telling ourselves. So I can choose to tell the story that it's okay if I'm beating myself up, and if I can just go, I can choose not to do that. It requires the integration, it requires everything, but that will get me to the choice. I can also go, oh, I've discovered a part of myself that is doing this from a place of pain and low self-esteem. Now I can also choose what to do with that information. I can choose to go, I understand, that's okay. Instead of going, all right, I need to fix that. It's just different choices. My reality will be vastly different if I just make different choices in these moments of going, all right, I'm okay with that. This is why the goal of life is not enlightenment. It's not to sit on a mountain and always feel peace and joy. It's to be comfortable in both. And when you are comfortable in both, that's what contrast is. It's both. When you're comfortable in both, that's when you're happy. The way you find your happiness is by stop looking for it, because you go, oh, you know what? Life isn't always joyful, and I'm going to be okay with not being joyful all the time. That's when everything just falls off. Then I don't need to keep changing it, because that need to keep changing it is continuous beating myself down. Like I shouldn't be the way I am. I shouldn't be who I am. I shouldn't be this. I need to change who I am. That's what's actually hurting. Hey, thanks for watching. Just to let you know, my free AI assisted journaling tool is now available. All you got to do is click the link in the description to start using it now. This is completely free and it's to help you on this journey. We can kind of see like, all right, I want to be this version of myself. And every time I realize or see a part of myself that isn't this version of myself, oh, I don't want to be that. That's the rejection. That is literally what's keeping us further away. It's kind of like, all right, just change. I need to not be this. I need to not be this. And that's building resistance to that part. I need to move forward with these decisions. I know I'm meant to, but I'm not. I should. And like that part's like, it's like, I don't want to, because you keep saying it to me. But if it was just like, okay, you don't need to. And it's like, oh, and then it really opens the space of like, okay, well, what should we do? Let's do other things. All right, let's do other things. What else should we do? Wait, it's safe to just do whatever I want? Yeah. Oh, now there's not all this resistance to it. It's like, maybe we should do it, but it's scary. It's like, okay, it's all right. I'm here with you. We're going to do it together. This is me speaking to myself. Shame is very heavy. The part of you that shames you, is that part for you or against you? What would happen if you achieve what this part of you is saying? Like, you should be here now. If you were where this part of you is saying you should be, what would that mean about you? Can you see how that part of you is just trying to get you to a place where you feel like you matter? That simple reframe allows us to go, oh, this is how you're trying to help me. You're trying to help me by getting me to a place where I feel like I actually matter. And by that simple reframe, I can truly, not just logically, but I can start feeling how this part of me that shames me is actually for me. It's like, wow, you're genuinely trying to help me. So that actually changes the way that I approach communicating to this part of myself. So now I can say to this part of myself and approach this part of myself in a way of like, I understand. I just want you to know that we don't need to be there. I get it. I get what you're saying. I've not given enough attention to you. Maybe I need to give more attention to you. I know you want us to be there and you've absolutely been working your balls off and you've been really helpful and you've been a massive part of where we are right now. But I want you to know that you don't need to do this anymore and it's okay. And it'll keep coming up and then you'll just remind it again. Not like, hey, I thought I told you, but again, with compassion, because I understand that you're actually just trying to help me. When you're communicating to these parts of yourself, you're in the state of imagination, and how you're presented anything is how you understand it. So a part of you might come forward and be completely burnt black, and that's your mind's way of showing you how hurt this part is. Doesn't mean this part's burnt or anything. So it's all a representation. I literally had an entire hand go like that to me, and I was like, whoa. And it was this part literally telling me to fuck off, and I was like, what? And then I learned it's because my approach was to try and fix this part, and this part was like, no, fuck off. Like, I don't want to, not coming forward, because I was there to try and get something from it. And then I learned, I was like, oh, I need to not do this. I need to just be there. And when you go there to just be there, that's when it all changes. And it's very counterintuitive. It's crazy. It's because the goal of what I'm actually trying to achieve by going there to try and get something, the thing that I'm trying to get is the one thing that I can't get, that the only way that I can get is by being there and not trying to get it. It's crazy, but that's how it is. And then when I realized that, I was like, oh, so all I need to do 100% of the time is just be there for myself. That's it. It doesn't matter what level you're at, what stage you're at, it's always the same.